Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope your weekend is going great and you're getting much needed rest this weekend. So today's video is going to be a jeans transformation video. As I said in my last video, I have a lot of thrifted jeans at the moment and I have to find something to do with them because most of them are quite oversized. And today we're going to be working on this black pair of jeans. They're originally Rustler jeans and they are the thickest jeans I've ever seen. Such good quality, but obviously I can't wear them like this because they're quite oversized and baggy, and this is not the kind of look I usually go for in my day-to-day life. So I decided to turn them into a denim button-up skirt, and this is what that ended up looking like. I really love how this turned out. I think the gold buttons are the icing on the cake with this one. It's such a fun remake on the regular old boring denim skirt. In case you want to spice things up, just having the buttons is such a fun way to do that, and I think this came out super cute. It's super flirty without being too sexy, and I really love it. And you can pair this with anything in your closet, a bodysuit, crop top, a tank top, it doesn't matter. It's going to look good with most things. So in case you want to make your very own button-up skirt, let me show you how to do it. So first things first, I wore my pants and I made sure to hold them up. Since they were quite oversized, I wanted them to sit at the waist, or rather I wanted my skirt to sit at the waist. So I just held it in place and marked with a piece of chalk the length of skirt I wanted. So I do recommend you mark more than you think you need. You can always go back in and cut some more, but you can't always undo cutting. So I recommend more is better. And all I did is I marked with the ruler a straight line. That way I could cut in a straight line because I'm pathetic at that and I have to have a ruler. And after that I just cut off that bit of pant leg. Make sure you keep it. I have a DIY on what to do with them, and that's hopefully going to be coming really soon. So now all I'm doing is I'm putting the pant leg over the other just to make sure I have quite an even cut along both pant legs. I did not want one leg to be bigger or longer than the other rather. So I just traced the line with a ruler and cut off that bit of pant leg as well. And now you have the base of your skirt. So you're going to have a pair of shorts that are a little too big for you, and yeah, we need to make this into a skirt. So all I'm doing is I'm drawing straight lines all the way from the top to the bottom, as you can see me do. So I just marked where the hemming on the inside ends, if that makes sense. And as you can see, I ended up with two straight lines. And I'm just going to cut along those lines, but only on the top layer. Do not cut through the bottom layer. You need that to cover your backside because you want this to be a complete full-on skirt. You don't want everything behind to be exposed, okay? So all I did is I cut through the top layer as you just saw me do, and now you're going to cut along that hemming line that's on the inside just to get rid of it, because it's going to make your skirt really bulky and you don't need that. So just get rid of it and you'll be fine. Once she was gone, she was at the door, she was terminated, her contract had ended. Now it's time to open up the skirt, and as you can see, I am taking it along that back seam. So I realized the back seam would make this skirt quite bulky, and I decided I just close everything up and get rid of that back seam and create a new back seam. So this is going to take in the skirt but also get rid of that bulkiness which we don't need in our skirt. So all I'm doing is I'm pinning down the fabric along that back seam. I'm just avoiding it and pinning right in front of it, and I just put many pins, and then I turn this over because we need to hem the sides of the skirt. So if you want a frayed look, this is definitely something you don't have to do, but I wanted my skirt to look quite polished, except for the bottom. I left that frayed because that was the look I was going for. But since I did not want fraying where the buttons would go, I decided I'd hem both sides. So now you're going to end up with something that looks like this, and you're going to sew all along the back side and hem both sides of the skirt. So now we're going to start with the back side just to create a new back seam. So as I said in my last video, when sewing denim, set it to your slowest speed. You don't want to speed through sewing denim, especially if it's thick, because it's going to break your needle. So make sure you're really going slow with this, but you can speed things up when you get to a place where the denim is not too thick. So after the back side was sewn, I went in with a straight stitch and then a zigzag stitch just for reinforcement, and I'm just going to hem that side bit, both sides. That will have a nice and polished look. And as you saw, I went to the second speed because I was sewing through thinner denim, so I could get away with speeding up things a little bit more. So I just did a straight stitch along the sides. I did not go back in with a zigzag stitch because it didn't really need that. But the back side, it's better to be safe than sorry in case the seams gave in. So after you've done all that, you're going to end up with that bit of fabric. At the middle, it's quite chunky. You need to get rid of it. And as you can see, the sides were hemmed. But all I'm doing now is I'm getting rid of that middle bit just to make sure we get rid of the bulkiness. And after she was gone, you are essentially done with the base of your skirt. So now I just decided, after closing this up and seeing everything, I decided I wanted to get rid of the belt loops just to give space to have my buttons on the edge. So I just used a seam ripper and undid both belt loops. And then I got rid of them because their job was done. Moving on to placing the buttons, I got these cute gold buttons at the store and I love them so much. But you can use any buttons you like, it's all up to you. And all I'm doing is I'm placing them 3 inches away from each other. This is because I wanted my buttons to be equally spaced and aesthetically pleasing to the eye. I didn't want them disoriented and looking funny. And now all I'm doing corresponding to that button is I'm marking a line horizontally, as you can see me do, and using this pair of scissors that's usually used for nails, but today we're using it to cut out the buttonholes. Because this is denim and the buttons were quite big, I couldn't sew buttonholes on my sewing machine, so I had to manually make them on my skirt. And all I did was, along those horizontal lines I made, I just cut tiny slits and made sure that my button fit through them, and that was essentially all I did. So as you can see, I'm pushing the button through, making sure she goes through without any difficulties. And after that, I just marked the length of 2 inches. No, actually, it was 1.6 inches from the edge because I wanted the slits to be equal in length. I just made sure they were. And when I got to the top bit that was a bit bulky, I switched to fabric scissors. That way I could easily cut through the fabric. Made sure my button could pass through that bit of fabric. And once that was done, you're done with making your buttonholes. So now it's time to decide where you're going to sew on the buttons. And I just took that edge that had the buttonholes and placed it on top of the other edge, which is where we're going to sew on the buttons. And all I'm doing is I'm going to take a piece of chalk and I'm going to make a line through the slits so that I can know where to sew the buttonholes on the other side. So as you can see, we eventually ended up with small dots, and this is along the line where you're going to sew your buttons. This will make sure your buttons easily fit through your slits without having to struggle or the skirt bunching up and looking weird. So I just hand sewed each button on using needle and thread. This was not time consuming at all because it's quite easy to do. You just make sure the button is firmly attached, close off your stitching, and you're good to go. So after about 5 minutes, I was sewing on the last button, and look at how cute these buttons are. I am so in love with them. They have these 3 crowns on them and I think they're super cute. So I really went in and made sure these buttons would not come off, even with a bit of tugging here and there. And once I was done sewing, the buttons are now on. And if you love the length of your skirt, you can terminate here. But I wanted my skirt to be short. It was quite long and I did not like how it looked. So I just went in with a ruler and a piece of chalk, drew a straight line where I wanted my skirt length to reach, and I just cut off the bit of excess fabric using a pair of scissors. I made sure to even out the bottom, that way it would look nice and pleasing. I did not do anything to the bottom because I wanted that kind of frayed look at the bottom, but in case you don't, just make sure to hem your skirt and you'll be good to go. So if you have any holes between your buttons, just add some snap fasteners in between just to keep the skirt together. But if your skirt is okay, you don't need to. And this is how the skirt will look like after you're done. I love how cute this came out. I am so in love with it. I've already worn this out twice, and yeah, she's cute, she's black, and she goes with everything, and I am going to be living in this skirt. Anyway, that's it from me today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Let me know if you're enjoying this jean transformations, because I have a couple more up my sleeve that I'm going to be uploading soon, so I hope you guys are enjoying them. And if you are, let me know. I love hearing from you guys. But other than that, I hope I catch you in my next upload, which is going to be hopefully pretty soon. But until then, stay safe and go buy some nice gold buttons to add to everything. Gold just elevates everything, and as you saw with this skirt, it went from a 0 to 100 in a matter of minutes, and I am so here for it. See you guys next time. Bye.